Hi everyone, I'm Laura Leopard and welcome to another episode of my pretend cooking show, Almost Martha. Today I'm going to make a couple of things. One is an experiment and one is an old favorite. And I am dressed in pink today because it is Barbie opening weekend. I'm looking forward to going to see it. I didn't have a Barbie growing up. I had a Casey doll, which was a friend of Barbie's with short brown hair. I'd asked for a Barbie, but I got a Casey. But we won't go into all of that trauma. We'll just leave that in the past and move ahead. So the first recipe I want to tell you about today comes from one of my treasures. This is the Leopard's Family Recipe Cookbook. My mother, God bless her, hi Mom, actually for my brother and I, wrote all the family recipes down in this cookbook in her own handwriting, so we would always have that with us through the years, and it is a dear treasure. And today I'm going to make Special Slaw. What makes it special? Well, for the Leopards, it was special because we discovered it on vacation in Florida. We'd gone to this little restaurant when I was probably around 15 years old. And we had my favorite, which was grilled amberjack. And on the side was a cup of the most delicious slaw I'd ever had. And the owner of the restaurant was also the cook of the restaurant and the waiter of the restaurant. And he came out and he very graciously shared the recipe with us. So now I'm going to share the recipe with you today. And the second thing I'm going to make is I am going to try to sort of duplicate a finishing sauce. I used it on chicken. I've used it on pork. We're going to grill pork chops later. So I'm going to try to make a pineapple finishing sauce, but I'm going to roast a red pepper. I'm going to try to roast the pineapple a little bit. And I also have some serrano peppers that I took from my garden out there. So we'll be roasting those shortly. We have a few other things to roast. And for the special slaw, there's a really funny thing in the recipe. It calls for 1 bag diced prepared slaw mix, and then in parentheses it says, better if I chop the cabbage and carrots myself. I don't remember her ever chopping the cabbage and carrots herself. I'm sure you did, Mom. I'm sure you did. But I just remember using something like this, which is that, bag slaw mix. So in our special slaw, we have some unique items. So we have some green onions. I have some ramen noodles, which we're gonna really, pound till we get them in little pieces. I have some sliced almonds. I have some sunflower seeds, and then to make
dressing for the slaw,
sugar, oil, and some apple cider vinegar. So we will start to work on that. So hold on for that special slaw. Okay, so we're gonna have to toast the ramen noodles and the almonds in the oven. So, it really doesn't matter when you go buy ramen noodles. Buy the cheapest ones you can, because really, you're not even going to use this little packet of sauce, and that's probably what makes the difference between cheap and expensive ramen noodles. But what we're going to do is we are going to just pound the daylights out of this. So I'm probably going to take the sound out so you don't have to hear me pounding. So prepare for a little musical interlude. Okay, perfect. Interlude over. It's great to do this in a little plastic bag like that, if it can, hold up to it, because then you can really see what you're doing and what's getting pounded and what's not getting pounded. So I have my very attractive, well-used and loved pan. And I'm just gonna put these noodles right on it. So this is, you know, just like roasting or toasting nuts, right? So I also have my almonds. You just put them right on the same sheet. Then I'm gonna put this in the oven and we're gonna toast these babies up. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble the slaw because I've got my toasted ramen noodles, my toasted almonds. I also put together my 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar and a 1/3 cup of sugar. Make sure that all that sugar is dissolved, right? So it took a few minutes and a few stirs, but it's all dissolved. Now I'm just gonna add my oil in. Okay, now that's all ready. So here's my lovely bag of slaw mix. See, it's so hard. It's so hard. And this is great. This has some radicchio in it too, which I love. Tricolor, which is very nice. I also have 3/4 of a cup of sunflower seeds. So these are roasted sunflower seeds, but they don't have all that salt and all that other stuff. So they're plain, but they're roasted. So those go in. I also have a chopped green onion, and the recipe calls for 1/2 cup. We made it many times without any at all, so I just did 1 bunch of green onions, and I chopped them up. I'm gonna go right in. Just gonna mix this up just a little bit. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add this mixture to what I've got. And all that goodness. Let's get this all mixed in. Okay, now it's not hot anymore. I'm gonna be able just to add in ramen noodles and those almonds. Oh, it's so good. It's so crunchy. Oh, it's so good. And you should know this should sit in the refrigerator for about an hour before you serve it. It will last longer. If you want to do 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, that's fine. This is a slaw that really won't last more than 1 day. So the day you make it is the day you need to eat it, you know, as a slaw. But I have to say, if you think of everything that's in there, right? It's cabbage, it's carrots, it's radicchio, it's nuts, it's some ramen noodles. The next day, if you don't want to eat it as a slaw because it'll be a little soggy, I wouldn't recommend it really, stir fry it. Stir fry it. It's fantastic. It goes great with chicken, with, you know, anything like that. But the cabbage stir fries nicely. You've already got a nice sauce in there. I'd add just a little bit of soy sauce and you've got a super easy stir fry as a little side dish, all ready to go. Okay. So here it is. And doesn't that look special? Kind of lives up to the name, right? It's beautiful, it's colorful, and it's really delicious. So now I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna put that in the refrigerator. But I want to move on to the next thing, which is sort of my experiment. You know, I've bought finishing sauces before that have pineapple and stuff in them. And I had these serrano peppers coming in and I didn't know what to do with them. So I thought, oh, let me try to make this finishing sauce that I like so much. And that's what we're going to do now. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in my oven, and we're going to try it. I'm going to put the broiler on, so I want everything. I'll have to keep turning this pepper, right? And these little green peppers. Probably the pineapple, I'll get one good on one side. If I can get a little browning, I'm going to pull these off and set them to the side. But these others, I really want to get roasted all the way around, okay? So that is what we're going to do next. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our roasted vegetables. Oh, it's hot in there. Yep, okay. Close that door. Oh, they look great. Yeah, they roasted up really nicely. Okay, now let's move on to the experiment. Okay, put this here. Okay, now, I don't know really what I'm doing, except I'm trying to duplicate something that I've tasted and I've seen and I've used before. So I have other pineapple, and I took the sauce from the pineapple and I kind of cooked it down on the stove to get it a little more syrupy, right? Put that in here. I've got some garlic cloves. I'm gonna add that to this pineapple. A little bit of that lovely oil. And I think, and this I'm gonna puree just a little bit because we're trying to make a, you know, we'll have some substance, but we'll also have, it's got to be sauce-like too, right? Finishing sauce. Add a little pepper, and I'm gonna add a few of these roasted serrano peppers. Kind of makes me nervous because they are really hot. We had some in some tomato sauce last night. Ooh, little hot, and I'm gonna add one of these, and these I'm just gonna do a rough cut and then throw in at the end. So now, into my food processor. I'm gonna pulse it. Oh, that's great. Okay, that worked out really well. I think I'm gonna add one more pepper in there. And that worked out great. Actually, I think I'll add all the pepper because they're dicing up really nicely, right? I'm gonna add a little more serrano pepper. I'm so afraid to add all of it. Oops. And before I put these in the oven, my husband goes, do you really want to put those in whole? Like, oh yeah. If it was on the grill and I was doing it, you would keep it whole so you could turn it. But just to put in under the broiler, yeah, it made a whole lot more sense to slice it. So, thank you, Mark. Okay. Okay. Oh, it looks good. Looks very saucy. I also have some cilantro, so I'm gonna throw that in. And I'm gonna just dump this into a bowl. So we can sort of get everything mingling nicely. So we've got garlic, and we've got pineapple, we've got roasted red pepper, and we've got a little pineapple syrup, right? And when I say that, I don't mean it's like that heavy syrup from the canned pineapple, right? This was just the pineapple syrup that was in the pineapple, and I cooked it down just a little bit to make it a little less watery, a little more syrupy. My sink. And now I'm just gonna do a little of this pineapple here. I'm gonna make some bigger rough cuts. Oh, a fly came in. Very annoying. Because I like a lot of sort of chunky pineapple too. And this is gonna go right on top of our grilled pork chops, okay? Throw this in. Oh, that looks pretty good actually. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little while because I want all the flavors to kind of mingle together, right? And then when it's time, we're gonna grill these pork chops, and I'll brush them with olive oil, put some rosemary flakes on top and salt and pepper. We'll grill them, and then we're gonna top it with our pineapple Sorrento pepper sauce, and we're gonna eat it with our Special Slaw. And I'll let you see all of that once it comes together. But before I do that and move on and clean up and all that good stuff, I just gotta say, isn't this just the sweetest thing ever? I mean, it's such a great gift for your kids. I would do one for my kids, but they can't read. So we'll, I'm just gonna treasure this, and I hope that maybe out there, you may do this for your kids or your nieces or nephews, especially for old family recipes, because it sure is a special thing. Okay, so we will check in with you once we have our fabulous grilled pork chops topped with our pineapple finishing sauce, and we'll taste that special slaw and we'll let you know how it is. Okay, here we are. Here's the grilled pork chops, and I spooned over my finishing sauce that's kind of peppery, so we'll see how that goes. And our special slaw looks beautiful. Can't wait to taste it. Okay, here we are. It's the moment of truth. I haven't made the slaw in quite a while. Oh yeah, just as I remember it. That one bunch of spring onions was perfect. You can taste them, but they're not overpowering, right? So, okay, now I'm going to try the pork chop. Looks like it was grilled perfectly, honey. Thank you. Let's try it as a vehicle for our sauce. Nice and chunky. So good. A little spicy, but boy, is it good. So, enjoy. I hope you try these things. And enjoy your barbecue. Thanks, everybody. Bye, Mom.